closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
In my own self, I'm trying to figure out, where do I sit? I don't even know what I am, and maybe I'm nothing. Andre Lauren Benjamin, born May 27, 1975. Today's feature spoke those words to GQ magazine at a point in his career where he had accomplished everything you could ask for as a rapper, had attained all the fame a man could ask for, so much so that literal God-fearing women would throw themselves at him at the sight of his physical stature. Everyone around him had changed so much that he began to wonder himself, am I worthy of all of this? Am I really the person the world makes me out to be? In those deep thoughts, Andre learned something he didn't expect, that he actually knew the answers to nothing, especially about himself. According to him, it's what happens when you take a regular person still confused in their teenage state and give them everything they could ask for, along with the gift that from now on, they could never be that person they grew up knowing again. They could never go anywhere without having to wear the mask the person they meet see them as. They could never be confident that meeting a new person comes with genuine motive and not just another hidden camera trying to get the sight of a lifetime and post it on the internet, a pool of unhappy with themselves vultures all looking for their next highly likable post. The side dishes in an order of fame. But let's not cry or play the world's smallest violin for Andre. Happiness is a daily choice. Freedom is where you choose to exist, and success has and will always come with its fair share of desire for humans to document the successful. At the point of this video, Andre 3000 is struggling. No, not financially, but the result of being obsessive with one thing so much that you actually perfect it. Only perfecting the art of entertainment in this case came with struggling to understand why it was all given. No one man should have all that power, Kanye West. When I say perfection, there's only a handful of artists that understand what that is. Andre 3000 and Big Boy, a group called Outkast, were very successful rappers to say the least. They've released 6 studio albums and all of them went platinum, with one going diamond at their peak. They've won Grammys and the highest awards even in other countries like Japan and all across Europe that recognized he and Big Boy as 2 of the best to ever do it as crossover hip-hop artists. Of the duo, Andre to me has always been the standout, as you could tell he was more than just a rapper and had potential to be great at anything outside of rap if he so chose. Out of nowhere, the music stopped and Andre was gone. Nowadays, when he's seen, it almost feels something bizarre happened we'd call crazy if it were anyone else, as he wanders the earth in 2022 at 46, still searching for himself. What happened to Andre 3000, who had the chance to be as great an artist that ever lived? Salute to the apex for this request. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Andre 3000 was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, East Point, Buckhead to be exact, that knew since an early age he was more advanced than other kids, and also that he wanted to do music. He always dreamed of being a professional at it and had the chance at just 17 to sign his first record deal. He met groupmate Big Boy at a mall while in high school, and the two formed the group Outkast because it's how they felt in the environment they were in, and also because the names 2 Shades Deep and Misfits were taken. They weren't the athletes or the cool popular guys early, hence the name. Andre recalls his parents not willing to let him sign a deal at 17, so he had to wait until he was legal age. Big Boy graduated from high school as an honor roll student, and Andre dropped out in the 11th grade. Wouldn't matter because soon after, he and Big Boy signed with LaFace Records, and the rest was history. Stunt number 1, the never-ending hiatus. In success, one of the things you don't want to do is take too long a break, especially while you're still in demand. Kanye West had a line that goes, "Don't leave while you're hot, that's how May screwed up." Truthful line that shows artists understand the milk in the refrigerator time span they have. Only difference, when your career becomes out of demand, it's hard to repurpose it like you can with dairy. When it's over, it's just about that in hip-hop. Like Andre says, rhythm changes by the generation. Like watching your uncle dance. He may have been smooth back in the day, but couldn't look more out of place now that his rhythm doesn't connect. Hip-hop music every year moves faster and faster as the times we live in become more and more advanced. The emergence of social media in the late 2000s and its growth ever since makes it where artists are now easily accessible but also able to be directly criticized by anyone with a social app and a celebrity they're unhappy with. It's easy to see how an artist that cares about his artistry like Andre can become discouraged by critique of his work and feel the need to take more time to make something that won't be received so negatively by some. After Outkast released their first studio album, things skyrocketed for the duo. Behind their first single, Players Ball, that spent 6 weeks at #1 on the charts, the album was a huge success and went platinum behind their reflection of the lifestyles of gangsters, pimps, and politics. Outkast definitely had something to say, but apparently at some point not Andre. From '94 to 2006, Outkast released an album every 2 years or so and were consistent in how they spread their message. What followed album 1 was 5 multi-platinum albums and a diamond album with Stankonia. I know 12 years is a long time and any rap artist is lucky to have that span of a career. But there's also levels. 12 years for Outkast was supposed to have been 20 or 30. Their music was that quality and could transcend time. Big Boy continued to put out albums even as recent as last year. 3000 took a break in 2006 and never returned. Stunt number 2, life got real. During the hiatus, and what may have caused such a long downtime for Andre was because life just got too real. He was still doing features and singles here and there, but as far as an entire studio album, he just wasn't in the place he could do that to the level he wanted. He lost his parents during that span that he's still apparently grieving over, as his mother was very dear to him and one he credits as teaching him everything he knows. His father he wishes he could still have conversations with about being a man and hates that he died alone. Andre also developed social anxiety so bad to where he'd meet new people and feel overwhelmed and a need to suddenly make up an excuse to leave, all so he could just breathe. He felt constantly watched and critiqued, which made him go deeper into a shell. This led to writer's block and even questioning if he belonged and was as good as everyone seems to think. He tried to get back to making music but could never find the motivation to create a full project because, for one, he didn't believe it would be received like he wanted it to because of the expectations and bar he set for himself. In a way, he feels his past history of great music and accomplishments handicapped him to have to always produce at that level. So he just stays to himself until he finds whatever it is he's looking for and until he could get over the loss of his parents. He still loved music, but life just got too real to do it like you or I want him to. Stunt number 3, out of rhythm. One of the reasons it's taking so long for Andre to dive fully into a solo career like Big Boy has, releasing 5 albums since his solo run began in 2010, is because Andre feels he doesn't have his fingers on the pulse of what's cool today. Even something simple as the sound to use that can transmit him to this era of rap music. Of course, outside of him, we're all saying, bro, you are the sound. Whatever you make will be widely acclaimed and positively received. But we aren't the ones needing convincing. Andre has to believe it himself, and right now, because he lacks confidence and is experiencing imposter syndrome without ones around him that could draw him back in, I don't think a solo project is ever something we'll receive. Sad because Andre 3000 literally could have been the best rapper ever. He has the talent, the personality, the crossover appeal, the fashion sense, the success, and the history to be just that. But the era has changed. Unfortunately, 3000 hasn't caught up and probably never will. All in all, Andre is still a great artist. No, he hasn't put out a solo project since Outkast and seems as far from that as possible, but he's a true hip-hop treasure. A living one that deserves his flowers. One of the greatest creators of all time and ahead of his time musically and fashion-wise. If he hears this, come back 3 Stacks. Don't think, just come back. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, Andre 3000's growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.